No, it has gotten so popular on TikTok. It's interesting.
No, it's kind of like our
The vroom
fast
vroom
car if you think
scream.
about it.
I think that's a perfect note to end on.
Fast.
I
Are you
should,
more fast car or are you more speed drive?
yeah. Comment
We are
below.
no, we're that's our dichotomy, fast car and speed drive.
Speed drive. Put it in speed drive.
Which is funny because you are a queer woman and I am also a queer woman, but
In another way.
yeah, in another
Manic Pixie Jump Scare. Hosted by Quinn Murphy
and Becca Hobart.
Hi, we're
Quinn.
Quinn and
we're
we're
Becca.
Becca. And welcome to Manic Pixie Jump Scare, a podcast where Becca and I talk openly about our shared delusions,
Passions
and
love
for each other.
The auto-tune in your voice is really moving there,
Yeah,
Quinn.
no. Caroline should be scared. A lot of you girls should be on watch. No, it's true.
Yeah. No, I totally get that.
Mm.
That's a little sneak peek of what we're talking about today, I guess, I
Mm-hmm.
suppose. But before that, for all of that, I
Mm-hmm.
am with my friend Quinn, so I
Yeah.
need to know what the hell has been up with my friend Quinn. Quinn, what even is up?
It's so when we record this podcast via Zoom, it's usually late at night or not late, not like super late at night, but in the evening time, in the nighttime. And my Zoom always switches from like day to night and it gags me every time.
What does that mean?
It just like I have it set where my computer changes from day to night. Like it goes from like white to black.
Oh, okay, gotcha. The
So
theme.
it like does it like as we're recording and it gags me a little bit every time.
She's shocked. Your owner, she's
But
shocked.
yeah, so what's been going on with me? Well, I'm in the thick of my first week of classes at camp.
Okay, so you have some sign-ups, some signees, some
Yes,
participants.
yeah. So first of all, I'm teaching my first ever yoga class. That's very exciting
Oh, nice.
to the children. It is a little bit of a challenge though, because so our camp goes from like I don't know if they're rising first graders. I think they are because there's some young kids at our camp, like rising first graders up to like rising sixth graders.
Oh boy.
And I have that whole gambit in my yoga class.
I just couldn't deal with that.
Yeah,
I know it.
it's like a Montessori school kind of vibe. When I'm in the
Oh
yoga
my
class.
goodness.
And so I'm like, okay. But that's actually been going well because the older kids are just
Good.
chill. And the younger kids, we do hour-long blocks. So for like a first grader, an hour is like a really long time to do something. So,
Yeah, for sure.
but it's not gonna be your typical yoga class where everybody's like zenned out and stuff because they are kids. So I'm not gonna be like, hey, you have to
The
relax.
children. Right.
Yeah,
Calm
no.
down.
Plus, they're at summer camp. Like, my boss made a really good point. She's like, yeah, if kids are like running or anything or like saying any, like, they're at summer camp. Like,
Right.
it's not supposed to feel like school.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but anyway, so yoga's been going well. I also teach this thing called Camp Challenge where I give them like somewhere between like a camp game and like making them use their heads a little bit more. That's going
Nice.
well. All those kids are chill. Then so my drama like class didn't make, so we made this weird like Frankenstein class called creative
Okay.
arts. And so but then the older kids like didn't fill out their surveys because all the kids got to pick their own activities. And the older kids
Mm-hmm.
like told their counselors that they already filled out the survey and their counselors believed them. So
Oh, that's where it went wrong.
yeah,
Of
that's where things got a little weird. And so
course.
the kids came in Monday and they only had like so much to choose from. And so a bunch of them got stuck in creative arts. And so I'm dealing with kids who were like, I didn't sign up for this. And I was like, yeah, I know.
Fully aware, fully
I
aware.
said, yeah, but we're in here together.
What is the other class that didn't make it?
I forget if there was something else. I said I would do more stuff with them. We've only been playing drama games so far. We've been playing some Zip
Gotcha.
Zap Zop.
Classic.
I
Taking
taught
it
them both.
back.
I taught them both ways I know how to play Zip Zap Zop.
Perfect.
They struggle with their lefts and rights. They take after their teacher.
Of course.
So that was
Totally
fun when we played the
understandable.
ones with lefts and rights.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, my struggle class a little bit is my last class of the day, which is another like Frankenstein class, which is book club, yearbook, and creative writing.
All in one.
Yeah, all in one. But creative writing only has one student, so it's like kind of chill. But anyway, um, so, but again, that's one where it's Montessori school vibes. Like I have every age student in that class.
Gotcha.
And so for book club, they can't all read the same book because they're all different reading levels. We
Of
don't have
course.
like a printer on our site. So I have to like, I don't have access to a printer to like print out materials because the printer at my house also doesn't work.
Perfect.
And so I don't really have anything for the kids to read for book club. And I was trying to plan like my lessons for the rest of the week today. And I could not come up with anything.
Oh no.
Today I had them draw a picture of like something from their favorite book. And then I was like, I can't have them draw every day. They're gonna get so bored.
They're gonna be sick of it.
And it
You
sucks
should have
because
them put on a little play.
yeah, but sometimes they don't like that either.
Oh dang.
They can be a little
They suck. I blame
they're-
them.
they're in that stage where they're too aware of themselves.
Right. They're
Uh-huh.
like, oh
So
God.
yeah, they're like, oh my God, I'm being perceived. But it's like it's okay.
Yeah.
And Becca and I know that never fully goes away.
No. No.
Something you have to
It
deal with.
persists.
It transforms, if anything. But my mom made the same. Maybe I'll make them do a little scene. But it's also like so many of them. Like there are over 20 kids in that class. So
Oh my
I'm just
goodness.
like, hey y'all.
How y'all
Um,
doing?
and so it's also, and I also can't be like, because we have like board games and like card games and stuff they can play if we have time. But I can't just be like, okay, book club, you're playing games today, and then be like, yearbook, here's your actual assignment. You guys actually have to do things.
Like the rest of us. Wait, why is there a yearbook? Is there a yearbook for the little camp? Like that they'll
Yes,
receive?
that is the idea. That is the
Wow.
idea. So
Fascinating.
we're working on that. I'm trying to get them to like lead it and be like, okay, guys, so what do we want in the yearbook? And they're kind of just like, they kind of just like stare back at me sometimes. I'm like, okay, so
we must do more.
So it is probably gonna be my primary responsibility, like within the next 2 weeks, because our camp is only 4 weeks too, which is the other thing. It's like a yearbook for 4 weeks of camp. But anyway, I'm gonna be like 2 weeks from now, I'm gonna be like sleepless nights making this yearbook on Canva.
Oh my
I have
God.
Canva and a dream. And what else
Nevertheless,
does
she
a girl need,
persists.
really?
Like, to be truthful.
I was feeling like graphic design was my passion because I was making printouts for the kids on Canva. I was like, oh my God.
It's good fun. You
No,
know what
it
I
is
get
good
up to.
fun. It's good
Yeah.
fun. But yeah, the kids are so fun. I do genuinely like spending time with them.
Oh, good.
Even if
That's what
they
it matters.
do annoy me sometimes. I like the people I work with a lot.
Good.
Except there are some counselors. So like I'm an instructor, so I like teach the classes, and then we have counselors who are like with the kids a little bit more, and they like
Gotcha.
assist the classes, and they're supposed to be like participating and stuff. And they're like mostly in high school, and girl, COVID really impacted these high schoolers.
Like their brain function.
Yes, like they do not have sense.
Oh no.
I'm like I
And
was
they're in
filling
charge of the
in.
children.
Yes, I was filling in. Babies having babies. I was filling in for this one counselor today because it was his birthday, so he was out. And I was in the room, and I was in like the first grade, second grade room. So those kids are rambunctious, you know.
Of course.
And the girl who's like with them, she sees the blocks transitioning, and we have a schedule. Like we have a schedule, and it's the same every day that says, okay, we transition to our first block at this time, we transition to our second block at this time. She sees people in the hallway, and she comes up to me. And this was after I told the kids to clean up, because like if it's 5 minutes before we transition, I'm saying, okay, my friends, it's time to clean up.
Yeah.
And I start helping the kids clean up to model good behavior. And so she comes over and she's like, should we like line them up to dismiss? And I was like, well, yeah, it's 9:25.
Of course, ma'am.
Of course. I'm like, girl, you do this every day. But, so that was kind of funny, but that's an example of sometimes the kids, the high school kids. But today I didn't have a moment where I like looked at them for help and felt completely helpless, where I have had those moments over the past couple of days.
Okay, that's
where
progress.
I've been setting up something, or I've been trying to do something, and I'm like, hey, can you guys like play a game with them real quick? And then they're like, blink, blink, blink,
Blank
blink.
stare.
Yeah. Anyway, but it is weird. It does make me feel like an adult in a weird way. Like I'm very like adult in the workplace.
At your summer camp.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, with
it's like a 9 to 5.
But it's also it's almost like it's like a full-time job. But no, it is because I am like, I think this might be the first time in like a work setting I've actually been like above people.
Well, that's exciting.
Like I have like a higher rank than other people.
Okay.
Not that I'm like power tripping or anything, but
right.
it's a new experience. Anyway,
do like the instructors kind of have like a vibe going and the counselors have a vibe going?
oh yeah,
Or
we're very like we're very separated.
Yeah.
I love the counselors. We're all obsessed with each other, or the instructors. The
Right.
instructors, we're all obsessed with each other.
Good.
And like we all eat our lunch together and like have our decompression time,
Right.
complain. And it's what I'm missing in my other job. At my other job, there's no one to complain with. Like
Well, then what's the point of having a job?
no, literally, I'm like, guys, come on, somebody has to. There's like one girl who's like, I've heard complain. But here's the thing, guys. There's like complaining. There's a smart way to do complaining. There's a highbrow way to do complaining, and there's a lowbrow way to do complaining.
Of course.
Like if you're just gonna complain about the same old things, same old shit, and like not get creative with it, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be
I need
funny,
new characters. I need new sayings.
If you're gonna be funny, if you're gonna, you come up with like new ways to complain that I haven't thought about. If you're gonna point new things out to me that I haven't noticed but are fucked up.
Analogies. I love an analogy while complaining.
Yes.
It's like
it's almost as if like
hypotheticals. Bring them in.
Exactly. And like I listen to the I've Had It podcast with those two white ladies who complain.
Of course.
And like they are like expert level shit talkers. And that is what I'm looking for. Like that's the level I'm looking to do things at. And some people aren't at that level. But me and the instructors, we get on that we get on that level.
Good.
So yeah, but that's been the camp job. Mr. Quinn in full effect, back in teacher mode.
Good.
And I did have this really funny moment today where children's perception of gender is always such a funny thing to me, especially as somebody who studied gender in college. And I got my first question today. I feel like it happened earlier when I worked for the camp a couple years ago. But I was talking to this one kid, we were like coloring or something, and he goes, "Why do you talk like a girl?"
Oh.
And I was like, oh, I just talk like me. And then he said something about another instructor who is a woman who presents a little bit more masculine. And he was apparently he's made comments about how like, oh, she wants to be a boy or something. So he's just, he's operating on that level.
Right.
And then I actually pulled I pulled a Hobartian moment a little bit, because I said to the child, just without even thinking about it, I was like, oh yeah, I stole her voice.
Perfect.
I love it. I go, have you ever seen Little Mermaid? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I stole her voice. We switched voices.
This is exactly what I would do.
And they're all like first graders and second graders, and they're like, no, give her voice back. They're like, you have to give her voice back. And I was like, no, I like her voice better.
Suits me
exactly. And I started doing the oh my god, those kids. So first of all, the one instructor in the room starts like laughing so hard she has to leave. And then
I stole her voice.
And then The kids were like asking me to do that for the whole for the rest of the day. Like last period when I was helping them dismiss, they kept going, do the Little Mermaid.
Please,
I had
please.
to do like 4 different times. Then apparently the camp director, or our site director, was like, oh, all the kids were asking me. They like heard you, but they couldn't see you. So they were like, where's Ariel?
Where is it?
I ain't even seen the damn
Oh my
movie. In
God.
true Quinn Murphy fashion, I ain't seen the damn movie.
Like the original or the
Either of
remake?
them. Either of them. I have been in the musical.
Nor
I've been in the
why.
musical twice.
Okay,
In
fair
my
enough. So
defense,
you get the
IMF.
gist. Yeah.
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 Oh, not IMF. IMD. Okay.
IMD.
Well.
IMDb. Anywho,
Filing my official
for
paperwork
Ariel.
to immigrate to Idgafistan.
uh,
Oh, whoa.
Oh my God.
Well, so that's camp, and then I've been listening to music lately. I actually
That's
wrote my
nice.
newsletter about this week. So if y'all read that, you might have heard this, but I was obsessed. Have you ever listened to The Japanese House?
I feel like I've listened to some of their stuff, but not this album.
Oh my God, their last album. For some reason, I was like, oh, they put out an album. I didn't even listen to their first album, but I just like this one song of theirs. And so I just put it on. And then I was like, oh, wait.
Shocked.
The sonic environment. I was like, wait, I'm so into this.
Oh my
It's
God,
like
an
kind of
atmosphere has been created.
it's melancholic. So I'm always looking for that in music.
Yeah.
There's a Muna feature. So I was like, wait, I was listening and I was like, wait, this sounds like Muna. And then I looked and I was like, wait, it is Muna.
Look at you.
But it's also still hopeful. And there's a Dead Dog song. We need to talk about the genre that is Dead
Mm,
Dog songs.
I know. Who started this?
I
Probably
don't
some weird country artist
know.
like
I think it's
Man
like,
from the 50s.
yeah, I think it's like a new thing though. Because the first one I ever was aware of was Big Star by Lorde.
Okay.
And then there's also Maggie's song by Chris Stapleton, which is a country song.
Mm-hmm.
And now the last song on the Japanese House's album is all about her dog who died.
Damn.
So
I
there's
guess
like
it's
a whole
something that
a lot of people go through. There's a whole subgenre of Dead Dog songs.
Japanese House birthday, July 13. Cancer.
Wait. Happy
Wow.
birthday to her. By the time she hears this,
Oh my
it'll have
God, so
passed.
true.
But anyway. Oh, and then of course we have to talk about major release this week.
Yeah.
Of course, Speak Now, Taylor's version.
Speak now.
Speak Now is my favorite Taylor Swift album, is what I say. So
Okay, so how you feeling?
I felt great. I felt great, to be honest. Listening to all the re-recordings, I was like, oh. Do you have any thoughts about he was a moth to the flame, she was holding the matches?
I just wish that, honestly, we would have just kept the original lyrics, to be truthful.
I don't care. I didn't really care that much either way it went. Like, it does surprise me. And I think they're clever in both. I think both lines are clever in different ways.
Sure.
And
They
like,
just feel so out of place to me.
I do ultimately
guess.
think she made the right decision because because the people who have been mad at her keeping it in would have been so much louder than the people who are like kind of half
Who didn't
jokingly being
care,
like,
right?
yeah, like because nobody's seriously like, no,
Yeah.
you should have kept
You are
this.
anti-feminine. Oh.
Nah.
Gotcha.
No, but there are people who would legitimately, if she put out that like line today, would have been like, you are anti-feminist, you are anti-woman. Whereas like, I feel like everybody who's like, oh, why is it not mattress? Like everybody's kind of half joking.
Gotcha.
About that. Like nobody's fully serious. Like, no, we need to shame this fictional woman for the thing she does on the mattress.
Yeah.
I will say of the Vault tracks, and I've only listened to the Vault tracks a couple times now, I feel they're underproduced.
So I literally haven't listened to them yet.
Really?
I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, Speak Now is already a little bit of a document to like take in.
You better believe it.
Because it's Taylor's album where she didn't really care about song lengths. And look, I love Preacher's Daughter by Ethel Cain. I'm clearly not in for a Boot Scootin' Boogie 252 song.
Right.
I can sit for a 10-minute
All too
song
well.
or Thoroughfare, whichever 10-minute song we're talking about.
Right.
But it is like long when you get into it.
Mhm.
And then the vault tracks come, but I just think that like there's one like my favorite is probably Timeless, which is like the last vault track, and I feel like
Okay.
it's an interesting song. It's kind of similar in storyline to Past Lives by Kesha, where it's like, in any life I met you, I would have fallen in love with you, which is like a cool sentiment. But I feel
Yeah.
like with that sentiment, you need like a big sweeping, like orchestral, like it should be giving Enchanted vibes. Like it should be like a sister of Enchanted, but it's just like, it just feels a little like underproduced to me. And who knows, maybe it'll grow on me a
Gotcha.
little bit more.
Right.
But, and then
I mean,
also,
Enchanted is a perfect song, so
exactly. And then Haley Williams, again, Taylor, she like, Haley gets like a verse on Castles Crumbling, but like
okay.
it's underutilized. Because Haley Williams can fucking blow. Like that girl can sing.
What is up with Taylor? Why'd
Well,
she do
I
that?
think it's like, I think she like didn't want somebody to like out sing her on her record. Cause like she's never collaborated with someone like that. Like Phoebe
Right.
Bridgers, Lana Del Rey, Maren Morris. They're not these singers who are gonna give you like, well, Phoebe can, if you've ever seen her perform Me and My Dog from the live
Right.
shows, but like
She'll
Phoebe
scream.
definitely can, but like she doesn't like do it a lot.
Right.
But like,
Probably because it's so painful.
yeah. But like Lana Del Rey, Phoebe Bridgers, and like they're not like known for like their like
They're
their
pipes,
their pipes, exactly.
if you will.
Whereas
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Haley Williams is like like
Yeah.
she's a
All
rock
I
singer.
wanted was
What?
you. And she does that
Um
every fucking night of a tour.
should be over all the
Butterfly.
like
That
another
video of
one.
her singing in the stew, loves it. I watch that probably twice a year.
I need to watch it.
Oh, it's just raw. Just
I'm
raw
sure.
vocal, dude.
I love, one of my favorite things is watching like Broadway cast recordings, like when they're in the studio.
Yeah.
I love that for some reason.
But do you think that always sounds played with to me?
Oh yeah. So that's another thing about the Broadway. Like they play the actual, like the
Well,
finished
track and you just see
recording,
them sing.
and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
how did they know this was the take, or is it just like I want to know? I want to do an in-depth interview with someone who's edited one of those videos and ask them everything about it, because I
I
need to
got to
know.
know.
I'm
Yeah.
like, was that the actual take? Because it matches up quite well. Or, oh my God, do you think they like have it all in the can and then they shoot those like just for promotion?
I would 1000% believe that.
I would believe it too. I hope it's not true.
Should we start a conspiracy?
Oh my God.
Pilot
I
starts
think it
now.
is. I think we already
Guys, we
started.
have found
Okay.
out. You know the
God.
podcast?
I don't know. Just
Where
something to think about.
that guy explains movies to the other guy. And he's like, you will not believe when the
Oh, our
mother of these two
podcast?
twin boys.
Our podcast, you mean?
Hey, that was pretty good. That's a pretty good joke. You
Oh
got
man,
there.
makes you jump scare. Yeah. I do know that
Yeah,
one.
of course. I'm familiar. No, but he talks like that. But if we do that for just guys, you will not believe what the Broadway cast of every single Broadway show has ever done in the history of forever. Hamilton, I'm looking at you.
Oh my
They
God.
lie.
Did you speaking of conspiracy, did you see that Shane Dawson and his husband are expecting twins?
Pardon?
Shane Dawson's gonna have a baby. Two of them actually at the same time.
I have to Google this. You understand, right? Are you
Well,
lying?
yeah.
Are you fucking lying?
No.
Okay,
No, Becca,
okay.
why would I lie about something like this?
Shane.
I work at a camp. I'm pretty sure I can't lie about something like this, like legally.
Right. Um,
Becca's
wait,
dead
how
ass
did you find this
concerned.
out?
It was on
How did you
Twitter. Like Pop Crave or Pop Buzz tweeted it out.
Shane Dawson.
But they worded it. There was this tweet that killed me. They worded it like Shane Dawson and boyfriend Ryan Adam or husband Ryan Adam say they're expecting twins, and someone quote tweeted it and goes, "Expecting them to do what?"
Oh, expecting twin boys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Oh, the reply tweets.
Mm-hmm.
So many pictures of cats. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And now
So
fuck
they
my
both freaked
cat.
me out as like they freaked me out as a couple so bad actually.
Oh, me too. Me too. Me too. Me too. I just I hate like I just hate lazy content. And
Right?
there's a certain subsection of video creators whose whole thing is like, oh, my significant other, I ended up dating this significant other who was a huge video creator. And so I started creating videos and had a built-in fan base. And
Yeah, and then my sister started doing that and had a built-in fan base. Then my mom
exactly.
started doing that and had a built-in like guys,
It's like,
we can't be doing this.
yeah. And like some people are genuinely like go and like do their own thing based off of it. Like Julian Solomita, great example. Like he
Yeah, of
had a built-in
course.
fan base, but he did something he did stuff completely different from what like
He had
Jenna
his
did.
like own idea.
And
Yeah.
he still like creates his stuff even now that Jenna has like gone away from the
Jenna.
internet and stuff.
Yeah.
And
But
like
just vlogs from different angles. Like
yeah.
just a vlog from a different perspective is crazy to think that that's like what's the point?
Yeah. So you can get a different POV. What was I about to say? I also hate those I've always hated those TikToks where it's just somebody like with the laptop in front of them and they're just repeating the video.
Repeating?
Yeah, like they'll do like the dance moms like Kelly and Abby fight
Oh, and they
or
just say what
something.
happened.
And they're just like doing the same things. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
interesting when they're doing like and they can do like all the movements too. I'm like, okay, this is a little bit, but like I'm just like you're ultimately just repeating what another person
Repeat.
said.
Right.
And then there's these you may not know about this because it's like drag race stuff, but there are so many like drag race like aggregators and all this stuff like making content about drag race. And
Okay.
like the way in which these like white gay men think they're like highbrow artists because they like talk about what happened on the show. And they
Critics,
like
they
talk
are.
about what happened and they're like there's this one guy, he like recaps like there's this famous viewing party that goes on at a bar in Chicago and his whole channel is just doing recaps of like the viewing party. Or like
Whoa.
that's a yes.
So
And
many
he's
layers
like
removed.
and then he's like but then he like posts stuff on his channel being like, oh my gosh, this channel is stealing content, go and like report them and stuff. And I'm like, bro, you're stealing content, like you're just an
What are you
aggregator. You're like
Yeah.
the BuzzFeed of like drag race, basically. You're just aggregating things.
Damn.
Like you're not creating anything new.
To say someone's the BuzzFeed of anything,
I just put
so
them
hurtful.
down.
Yeah.
I just put them down.
It's so hurtful, actually.
I did watch a Why I Left BuzzFeed video that was like an hour long. It was really interesting.
Who's? I've
Will
seen them all, I
Neff,
feel.
who's Hassan's friend.
Love him. Yeah.
It's really interesting. He has a
Want to talk
really
about a hottie?
interesting. I find him very hot.
Yeah, we should explore that together.
We should explore him and Hassan together.
OMG.
Double date. Who's with who? No one knows.
Bofa. We switched them.
We switch we should explore that together. Oh my god. Anyway, but that was a little bit of a tangent. But Becca,
Yeah, I forgot we were in the catch up still.
we're just gals chatting. Two women talking is what this podcast is ultimately. Becca.
Speaking of,
We'll
go ahead.
Becca, what have you been up to this ever loving week?
Well, I'm about to tell you, but before I say that, I'm going to say that, you know how I talked about the movie Go, or did I? Okay. The girl in that, it's a movie from the 90s. The girl in that, I was like making fun of her because she was so awkward. And I'm like, she probably, whoa, I didn't mean to say this mean, but my brain said she probably amounted to nothing. But what I mean is like, I'm sure that this is the only thing she's ever been in. She wrote Women Talking, won the Oscar this year for Women Talking. It's literally her. She was in a movie in the
Well, wasn't there all
90s.
that controversy around women talking?
Oh, I haven't heard anything. I only heard of the movie when she won the Oscar for it.
There was controversy around one of the women who I assume in the film talks.
Okay. Nice.
She was nominated for Best Lead Actress. I don't know. I don't understand why it was a controversy. Like, I never quite put all that together.
Okay.
But I don't know. People were getting crazy with the Oscars this year, especially. It felt like with
Do
the
you know
Kate
what the thing
versus
with the women?
Michelle of it all. Well, they
Oh,
were
right.
like, apparently it was like like they thought she broke campaigning rules or something.
Oh.
And it was also like nobody saw this movie, but it was weird because like a bunch of celebrities just started talking about it. So I don't know if there was like a payola aspect to it, and maybe that's what people are getting like upset at.
I mean,
But it's also
you
like it's
gotta
all
assume that's
payola.
happening. Yeah, so
Like
what's the
it's a
big deal
it's a big
then?
payola
Yeah.
extravaganza, the Academy
Yeah.
Awards.
It's like the whole thing.
But anyway.
Okay.
Uh
Well, anyway, okay. So that I found that out.
mhm,
And then as you may know, Lauren,
mhm,
my friend from home,
I'm
she's also
familiar.
Cancer. Yeah, of course. And so
You know
we
many of
did have
them.
her, yeah, they surround me. They fill up my life.
Mm.
But we did have a little birthday bash in the city of Philadelphia for her.
Wow.
We stayed at a hotel. Yeah,
Brave.
that's
Oh,
true.
Hotel Motel Holiday Inn.
Exactly. That is what happened. And
The three genders.
it every single one. And we went to a bar that was really fun. It was called Concourse. Have you ever been there?
No.
Well, guess what? Cover charge only $10. Easy peas,
Wow.
girl. And they had so many
Wow.
activities there. They had a ball pit. They had an ice bar, which I think I want to make sure that it's mandated every single building has an ice bar attached to it, which is a room of solid ice that's freezing cold.
Mm-hmm.
So that when you get
Mm-hmm.
hot, you can go cool down.
When I was in Spain, I didn't know about these, but when I was in Spain, a couple people on my trip went to one.
Oh my goodness gracious. They are so
Mm-hmm.
handy.
Yeah, I
They're
would
so
assume it's
lovely.
kind of nice. Yeah.
Yeah. But I
I
will
wonder
talk
if we were
about
I saw two other people at an ice bar, and I wonder if it was the same one.
yeah, this was just like one room of this huge place. I mean, it
Okay.
certainly could be. I didn't really see anyone actually getting drinks from that ice bar, mostly just going in the cold room.
Mm.
Yeah, so that was part of that. And then um before even going out or doing anything, we did go to a bottomless dinner. So we each paid like $50 and then we got bottomless dinner and bottomless beer and wine.
Oh wow.
And according to the menu, I drank around $80 of wine alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you paid
Yeah.
$50, so you're gonna get your money's worth is the
And
thing.
we had a 3-hour time slot. So, girl, I'm
You could
getting
do a
drunk off
lot of
my ass.
damage.
Yeah. And let me tell you, so the pours started so normal. And by the end, I was drinking like fully filled glasses of wine. And again, I had
the,
around 7 or 8.
the servers are back there being like, how much more can we give her?
No, she was so with it. Like
Mm-hmm.
our little waitress, like she was so happy for me. She kept like touching my shoulder every time I ordered another. She was like, "Sounds good." I was like, "Love you, girl." And then
She
she
was
was
not
going
abiding by
heavy
her
on those
ramp
pours.
certification, and she was giving.
Yeah, you better believe it.
Her and I have the same
Um,
certification, let's just say that.
oh my god.
Sometimes I'm
Would you have
very like,
overserved me?
what?
I hope you would have overserved me as well.
Well, I won't admit to
Come
anything on
on.
air. But no, sometimes I have this dilemma where sometimes I'm like I'm pouring a bottle of wine, and it gets to like the end, and you can't gauge like how much in the bottle will be in the thing, but I only have like a little bit in the bottle, like definitely not enough to make a full glass, and not worth like pulling it out and like doing the whole thing. And so I'll pour it, And like sometimes it's an appropriate amount, but then sometimes you like misjudge it and you just pour like a huge glass of wine and you're like, well, what do I do now?
Oh God, can't go back.
It's nice sometimes because like if nobody's there like higher up than me, I'll just be like, or nobody else is taking it, I'm just giving it directly to a customer. I'll be like, go.
Yeah, leave.
But otherwise, it's
Run.
like, oh, you have to. The first day I was
Oh.
pouring, I like poured too much, and then they were like, okay, make a different glass.
They made you re-pour.
Well, they poured the excess in another glass, and they were like, okay, finish that one if you need to pour it again.
Oh,
Which is kind of a good system.
dang.
But yeah.
Oh
So
my God.
serving
I
alcohol,
if
no joke.
Yeah, I guess that shit is expensive, but
Especially in PA. It's not even I don't even know if they do it for like expensive reasons or if it's like over serving reasons.
okay.
But
Damn. I
yeah.
love being overserved. To all
I
my
only
overservers, thank you.
I can only overserve physically. Mama darling, baby
Mama.
girl.
Thank you. Yeah, so and then also ate so much food at the bottomless dinner. Um I did puke the next morning.
I was about to say,
I was acting shocked
I
when I
threw
was
up.
woke up
I threw
shaking.
up.
I threw up. I literally awoke shaking and then I was like, it's time. Went and puked
Dog.
straight oil.
Oil.
Crazy in the hotel bathroom. And I was sharing with Lauren's friends, a couple, Alyssa and Ryan. Thank you. Because obviously they heard all of that. Well, actually, Alyssa couldn't tell that I puked, and I was like,
Oh,
maybe
really?
I'm just maybe I'm just so silent and cool.
It's always interesting hearing an acquaintance like just fully like Ralph. I had an experience like that at your apartment one time with Macy.
Oh, and that was loud if I recall, right? Retching, you would call it? Yes. Like guttural
Because
deep
we
within.
were I don't even know why I would have been at your house. Like we were
Was
just
it the birthday party?
No, we were just hanging out one time. And it might have been you, me, and like another person, or it might have just been you and me, but we were like, for some reason we were hanging out at your apartment, which we didn't do frequently at all.
Was Corey there? Was that night in January where we wore our zebra
Maybe.
tops?
Oh, maybe. Maybe. No,
Okay.
because Macy wasn't with us at first, because Macy came in and Tim was with her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she was wearing like a blue dress too. And I could tell she was like fucked up. And then she was like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. And then she was like, Tim. And Tim was like in there with her in the trenches with her.
I know. Tim always helps her. Dang. Blue dress. Maybe it was the pity party, babe.
No, she
No, that
wasn't
wouldn't
like
have made
on site.
sense.
She like came home.
Damn, that's crazy.
I can't remember what it was, but I did have that experience with
I have
Macy
no idea. Yeah.
at your apartment.
Listen, hot girls, gots to puke.
Literally.
Gots to. Yeah. The stomach issues of hot girls like cannot be even defined or explained by science. Yeah, there were a lot of people on Lauren's birthday weekend that had IBS, suffering deeply with it. So we had to make some stops for that, of course.
Suffering deeply.
Suffering deeply with their IBS. But it was great fun at the end of the day. And when we did walk to breakfast in the morning, I was again still shaking. And I honestly did leave the hotel rather, forgetting to wear underwear. Walking the city of Philadelphia. Crazy thing to do on a Sunday morning.
Gucci out.
Yeah,
Gucci facing the world.
Like for real. And then hit home. And it thunderstormed. Oh my God. I was on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
The turnpike, no less. And then my phone goes, take shelter, dangerous flash flood warning. This is life threatening. Do not attempt to like travel unless you are like seeking shelter from a flood. And I was like 30 minutes from home on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that's actually undoable for me. I'm gonna have to
You
get
said,
home.
whoa.
I'm driving. And so that was crazy and I cried.
Yeah. I forget if it thundered here. It definitely rained a little bit here on Sunday.
I cannot see 10
Like
feet in
for
front
a
of
sec.
me.
And by rained a little bit, I meant it rained like a lot for like 20 minutes. And then it was like, okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's over.
Well, I told you, did I talk about last week when I came home to my house and discovered that like a tree was down in my backyard?
Oh no.
Oh my God. Well, I was dog sitting. I was staying at a house like around 4th of July, and it was before 4th of July. I think it was like maybe July 3rd, or maybe no, it was July 3rd probably. I like came home and I hadn't been home in a couple days, like to my actual house. And I like walk through I come in and I'm like walking through the door, and then I look out my backyard and there's just all this like foliage like down in my thing, and I was like, oh my goodness, because we have like this like little like thicket of like trees and stuff behind our house, and like all the trees are dead and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, so it's kind of just a waiting game like when the fucking fall.
Right.
But and so like a piece of a couple like came down, and like there was a lot of shit on the ground. I was like, oh my God.
Damn.
I kept being like, I was saying it to myself, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh
I was like
boy.
I like took pictures, and I like called my mom being like,
I'm always scared that the
trees
trees
fell
in
in
my backyard are gonna
backyard.
fall. What do we do?
Mm.
Apparently, so over COVID, when we were catching diseases,
Mm-hmm.
the trees in my backyard caught a disease, which I didn't even know was real.
Mad tree
And
disease.
yeah, all the trees got hella weak.
Really?
And so they're all like at terrible risk of falling.
Yeah, like so much stuff came up in my neighborhood. Like people, like everybody had like their trees uprooted. Like it was crazy.
Whoa. Makes you think about who we are and where we live.
There used to be 3 really big ones in our backyard, but we finally got them cut down a couple years ago. Because those ones, if they had ever fallen down, they would have bonked right into our house.
Catastrophic. Right, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. I'm just waiting for the day.
Would have given our house a little bonk.
A good, nice little bonk.
Let's just say that. Let's just say that.
Love tap. I love tap.
Well, Becca, anything else to catch the viewing public on? Up on?
Not even. Not even. No.
Schwerd. Well,
Yeah.
then we're gonna throw to a little brizzake, and we'll be right bizack.
Guys, I'm scared.
Don't speak. Let them speak.
Let them speak. What? Except
Like,
for when you're not letting them speak.
what's funny? Or like what's funny
Um,
said so.
Yeah, I just did my best vroom vroom gas because I am in the car, or sorry, in the garage with my favorite car this week, if you didn't notice.
Beep beep.
Because it's just very good in here. Jump in my ride. Beep beep. Kylie Minogue. Another Becca and I were having a conversation off during the
Just as
break
friends.
about people with nasal, like singers and their nasality and stuff.
Mhm.
Kylie Minogue is another one of those people who has kind of a
For sure.
very nasally voice. But we love them for it. But actually we're here today to talk about another singer, and more specifically a project by that singer, because we are doing another Stanless deep dive. We're still deep in the ocean.
Blub, 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 blub.
We are working on the next Titan submersible.
Yes.
We are creating a competitor that hopefully will not blow up.
Yeah. Implode.
Because
It's
we've
gonna
had this
be
technology for a long time, and so we're just figuring out how best to bring it to the market. Because you guys know we've been diving deep for a really long time on this podcast.
too long almost.
Too long, some would say.
We like, if you counted all the days we've done deep dives and also how long it takes to get to the bottom of the ocean, we're there, babe.
Yeah, no, we're
But we have not yet imploded.
We've passed James Cameron multiple times, being like, "Oh my God,
Hey, cast
how are the
us.
kids?
Hey. Yeah, of course.
Hey, how are the kids? When's the Titanic remake coming?
Right.
With me and Becca's Jack and Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
It's me and Becca playing all the roles, actually. I'm the
Has all the
unsinkable Molly
roles.
Brown, though. That's the one. That's my one stipulation.
That's the rule, yeah.
Becca can have any other literal thing she wants. I just have to be unsinkable Molly Brown. In my best
Fine,
Kathy Bates
fine.
drag. But anyway.
Of
But
course.
yeah, we're here today to talk about our next Stanless entrant, which is of course, it fills me with such great pleasure to say, Pop 2, the mixtape by Charli XCX.
Beep, beep, bing. I wish I had like I wish I could make like more mechanical noises, but I
No, and
can't.
I've been thinking about it. We need to I like
Yeah,
we need a soundboard so bad on this podcast.
I know.
We need a soundboard so bad, and I'm trying to figure out how to do it. And by trying to figure out, I mean I've Google searched it at least twice. I've
And
been
I
like,
thank you
this
for
is
the
gonna be
work.
too hard. Let me not do it. Real quick.
Right.
But guys, MPJ soundboard incoming. We're expanding, so
We're waiting. Yeah, of course.
anyway. So we're here to talk about Pop 2, and in the grand tradition of a Stainless Deep Dive, we always like to talk about a little bit of our background with a particular entrant. So Becca, what is your background Pop 2?
Well, thank you for asking.
Mm-hmm.
So I really came to it my senior year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And that is that I just simply just was like, oh, I like Charlie XX. Let me listen to it. Immediately, boom. Whoa,
I begin to
guys.
pass out. My hair.
I love Charlie
Womp.
XCX. And this album means so much to me. And I've never been able to like be who I wanted to be until now. And
Mm-hmm.
like it unlocked something in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
It truly was like in that movie Lucy, where they lied and said we only use 10% of our brain. Like,
Oh
here's what
yeah.
it is. Here's what it means
This
to
was your brain on like
100%.
100%.
Yeah, Pop 2. And I was like, oh wow. And I really wasn't super into like any hyper pop or anything, so I was
Mm-hmm.
like really ready to have this be my little gateway drug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like going
Basically, I
straight to
just found
heroin,
it.
baby. Like it's like
Yeah. Exactly. And then I listened to it so much in college, like all
mm-hmm.
throughout. Like I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
It was mad. Yeah, I feel like I don't know if you would know Dana Baby. Used to
Not
be friend.
familiar.
Yeah, Dana was on Vine. And is friends with like Drew and Enya, and also was friends with Lohanthony. That's why Lohanthony was like one time in my area code, and I was like,
Oh
whoa.
wow.
And that meant so much to me at the time, and now look what happened. But
Like what
Dana
happened?
always would make like little YouTube videos about two like Charlie songs. And so I think that's also how I like kind of found it. It was more familiar with her.
L-A-A-G. So Miss Girl Dana
Uh-huh.
introduced you to Charli XCX.
You could say so, I think.
All right, all right. Oh my
Yeah,
God, she was
like
Vine famous.
yeah, she was.
Remember when Vine came back into the lexicon? Ugh. Glad we figured
Back
that out.
into
Yeah,
like when?
like 2018, 19. Before, like, there was a moment before TikTok, like before everyone had TikTok, where
Right.
like Vine really had like a resurgence on the internet.
Oh, like Vines, like not new ones, but
Oh yeah, Vine
Vines themselves.
clips.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And everyone was like, you
Gotcha.
know that Vine? It was like, yeah, we all know the Vine.
Right. Of course. I used to love Vine so much though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But Vine
I
was
felt
like
like there was no toxicity also on it.
it's so
Maybe I'm
crazy when you
wrong.
it's so crazy when you think about like Vine though, and like how short the videos were. Like 7 seconds is such a short time.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Okay, you know what I think about all the time? This is gonna be such a tangent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the Wayans brothers had a reality TV show.
Uh-huh.
Have we talked about this before?
No,
Okay.
I don't think
They had
so.
a reality TV show that was free on Apple that I downloaded, or iTunes, pardon, that I downloaded to my mini iPad in like 2016, 17.
Mm-hmm.
It was where comedians were like competing to be like the best comedian or whatever. And they had they spent like a full episode on like who could make the best Vine, because
Mm-hmm.
that's what kind of like mattered at the time. Brittany Ferlin came in as like the reference point or the expert.
Oof.
Guess who was one of the contestants but lost this show that I remembered and knew about in 2016?
Matt Rife.
Tiffany Haddish.
Oh wow.
She was one of the first to like lose and be kicked off
You gotta go.
because she didn't prepare ever.
Oh, okay.
She would just rely on her like improv, which
That's very her.
honestly, I mean, she was funny, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but it's crazy to think about.
Yeah, that's a very like it's like every comedian you know was also on Last Comic Standing,
Right. At
like
some
which was like
point.
the comedy reality competition show.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, a Wayans Brother free Apple show.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Sign of the times.
but it's interesting how stuff like that evolves because apparently like marketing people, they like
Mm-hmm.
now like marketing people have to like saddle themselves with all this like TikTok stuff. Like somebody who we graduated with was like applying for a job and she was like, "Oh, guys, can you go like this TikTok I made for my application?"
Oh,
And I was like,
my
"How dystopian."
goodness. Yeah. That is crazy. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Well,
But
Quinn, how'd you come to
anyway,
Pop 2?
so I do have to talk about my friend Kat, who is one of the people we bring up, but hasn't been on the show quite yet.
Yeah.
She like informed a lot of my music taste because I used to like kind of she was definitely my gateway into like a lot of like the hyper pop, like kind of alternative pop girly space.
Mm-hmm.
Like and now I feel like we like have a good like give and take a little bit with like who we give music to, but she definitely got me like started off a little bit. And so I
Gotcha.
heard that like she would listen to like Charli XCX and Carly Rae Jepsen, and I'd be like, oh my god, like who? Like being like, oh, those people aren't like popular anymore and like all that stuff. And then I forget when I actually like listened to this, but I think I listened to like Vroom Vroom first, and like you have to get used to it. It's a little bit of an acquired taste. Like
Yeah, I get
it's
that.
very the Nicki Minaj meme of going, first time you listen to the song, you're not gonna get it.
You're not gonna.
Second time, third time, you're gonna go, whoa, what is this? This doesn't sound like
Yeah.
anything else on the radio.
Ooh.
But and like there are certain things on Pop 2 or Vroom Vroom, especially where you're like, oh my god, what is this music? But then like you get into it and
Right.
you're like, oh, this is music, baby.
Oh,
Um,
don't you know it?
but yeah, so I didn't really get into Pop 2 until like my freshman year of college. I really
Okay.
remember singing. I really remember like getting into it because,
Wow.
and guys, one of Becca and I's first connections, I remember it so clearly,
Mm-hmm.
is we were in our directing
Me
one
too.
class and we had been like, Becca's a little mysterious, like when you don't know her.
Yeah.
And even when you do know her sometimes, she so I was like, oh, there's this really cool girl with like black hair who like sits behind me. And like sometimes you would like comment because like I would sit with like some people who I knew, and like sometimes you would like comment on certain things we said if you like overheard them. And I was like, oh,
Right.
that girl's really cool. And then I was like, I was just singing like out loud, and I started
Mm-hmm.
singing Porsche from this album, and I was like, I've been fantasizing about a Porsche.
Mm-hmm.
And Becca said something to
Mm-hmm.
the effect of like, oh, you would know that song. But not in a
Mm-hmm.
homophobic way, guys. Don't worry. Don't
No,
worry.
no, no. I was
It
just
was
excited by it, I
celebratory.
think.
She didn't go,
Yeah.
oh, you would know that song. She went, oh, you wouldn't know that song.
I'm hype.
Yeah. And like that was one of our first
Exactly.
like times we actually spoke to each other. So
So
and we were like, oh
exciting.
my
I
god,
know.
common ground.
Yeah, I was sitting behind you.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you turning around in that moment as well.
I said,
Whoa, ma'am.
whoa, man. Ma'am. But yeah, so it was very like I just have a lot of memories of like walking around to this song, like in the cold months and like the
Mm-hmm.
winter.
Gotcha.
Of like getting really high and listening to the song in my dorm and like listening to this album
Aw,
in my dorm room.
so cute.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a summer album to me, but also
Mm.
it transcends seasons.
No, literally.
So you can listen to it at any point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I have something to say about Dana Baby, and that is I remember so clearly a music video she made to Dreamer
I'm a
off of yeah,
Number
yeah,
one
yeah.
angel.
Yes. And
Stack. I'll
that
take you
really, because
up.
I think before I was like Charli XCX, like boom clap, like what?
Mm-hmm.
But hearing Dreamer, I was like, oh my dear God, step out the Beamer.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
whoa, she's so right. She's so correct.
Number One Angel also hits so hard. Like,
Uh-huh.
um,
She knew what was up.
Dreamer, what's the other one? Roll With Me. Do you want to
Mm-hmm.
roll with me? Do you want to roll with
Roll with
me?
me.
Lip Gloss with Cupcake, of course, of course.
Collab of the Cinch.
I keep a sticky icky like lip gloss. Is the
Yeah.
thing.
I can stick it like lip gloss. Oh my God, that song is so good.
So, but yeah, so
I'm kicking my feet.
I'm
I'm
kicking my
twittering.
It's so good. Okay, so now we've talked about the mixtapes. Let's get a little bit into the history of
Yes.
Miss Pop 2. So Charli is like Charli's had an interesting history with like releasing versus not releasing her albums.
Right. Her management, her labels.
Yes. Yes, because Charli's just a very interesting artist in
Mm-hmm.
that she came up like obviously idolizing like pop. So like
Yeah.
Britney like is kind of her main reference, but she like loves all the pop girls like Britney, Christina.
Mm-hmm.
Like Gaga comes a little bit later, but she loves Gaga too. Like all of these like
Yeah.
women of pop music are huge inspirations for her. And so I think she always envisioned herself having like a huge mainstream success moment and being like, main pop girl like that.
Right.
However, and like she's kind of had that at various points. Like Boom Clap, like you could say she like kind of almost reached a height like that.
Maybe.
But she's also just had always like this more experimental side
Right.
where like she can't fully give into like because even some like Charli XCX fans will be like, oh, well, like she's like sold out with like Crash or something. Cause like Crash
Mm-hmm.
isn't like with its sound as ambitious as like Pop 2 or Charli or like Number One Angel or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like you also look at someone like Kim Petras, who like started in kind of a similar place to Charli and like had much more of like a sellout route with like, whereas like, even though I like Feed the Beast kind of like it's fine to listen to, like a lot of those songs could have been released by Tori Kelly, Ava Max, like
Tori Kelly.
a lot of those songs are just like could have been given to BB Rexa, could have been given to so
Right.
many other like people, and like it would have
Yeah.
been a similar effect. Whereas
Okay.
like not everyone can do track 10. Like it's like you have
Yeah.
to,
You gotta be Charlie.
yeah, you gotta be Charli to put that out. And so I feel like Charli is always having that like battle versus her like actual taste, which is to be a little bit more avant-garde versus
Mm-hmm.
like her want to like be this mainstream sensation,
That is interesting. I
which
feel
she
like
can't
I
really
don't
do with
know.
like that type of music
I was
because
gonna
the public
say,
is tasteless.
yeah. But also because of like everything, I feel like I don't know, like when I think of who is mainstream, right? Like you think of Taylor Swift, like what a wide net,
Mm-hmm.
right? Can there ever be like another Taylor Swift again? Because what's so big part of that is also nostalgia.
Oh yeah.
And like I don't know, like is anyone gonna pull through like that and like be
Yeah,
able to
now
be so palatable
is
ever
anyone ever
again?
gonna be like monoculture like that?
Yeah, I think we maybe have moved past it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that comes with like democratization because like
Right.
Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, they were kind of like coming up in like the last time where you could actually be like a star a
Everyone
little
had this,
bit.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Um,
because we
Ariana
were all
Grande.
having like the
Ariana Grande
same
maybe is
news
like later
points.
than both of them, but also has like I feel like she came up of that era. Whereas
Yeah,
like now, like everything's so fragmented and stuff. Where like what is
right.
it? That Morgan Wallen song has been on the top of the charts for like 19 weeks or something crazy like that. It's been like number one for a really long time.
I
Luke,
for sure
a
have never heard it.
a country cover of Fast Car that like I heard at work, I wanted to puke, is like number two on the charts.
No, you're
Yeah, and
kidding.
no, I'm not. I'm sorry. And
If
like,
it's gonna be a cover, it's gotta be yours.
Yes, literally. No, that I sing at the gay bar karaoke when everybody's like rolling.
Exactly.
And they're like, "Why are you doing this song?
Why are you doing this?
Why are you
Please?
making me sad?"
Everyone pass out.
Anyway, so
No, because it's
but
funny. Because like to me, I'm like Charlie's on the like on the Barbie soundtrack. Like
oh yeah.
this is it. Like it's full. But then I could talk to any like boy,
Hmm.
and they're gonna be like, "There's a Barbie movie coming out."
Yeah, like people don't know
Like it
about
just
things
means nothing.
anymore.
It's so like insignificant. Like we're all in our own world so
Because
much.
we don't, because we don't have the same like. It's not 1985 where we have the same like 3 channels
The
on TV,
yeah,
you know, and
yeah,
we're all
and we
seeing the
all like see the
same.
same stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Like everything's so
So,
tailored to ourselves now.
but yeah, it's interesting.
Crazy.
So anyway, Charlie has an interesting history with like actually releasing her music. So she threatens to release her third studio album. um
Thread. Right.
she threatens to release her third studio album. But she doesn't really like it doesn't really materialize all the way. It
Mhm.
keeps getting delayed. But when she's like in this process of the album getting delayed, that's when she starts working with Sophie and AG Cook. Um,
Rest in
and
peace,
so the first
Sophie.
yes, the first thing that comes out is the Vroom Vroom EP, which Sophie produced all the songs on that EP.
Mhm.
And then Number One Angel comes out, and those are specifically like songs that were supposed to be on this album that is now getting delayed again.
Yeah.
Um, and then apparently one thing I came across is they only started recording the album like 2 months before its release.
Which is such a crazy thing
Yeah,
because
like
so much of it is done in post, I feel.
oh yeah, uh-huh, and
So much to do.
yeah, and even to do the stuff in post, you have to get like raw vocals and stuff
Yeah.
like to mess with.
Hmm.
But yeah, and it was interesting because she's on Atlantic and her contract's up. I forget if there was any word on what she's doing with her contract because a big conversation in the cycle around Crash was like, oh, will Charlie like continue with Atlantic after her like
Right.
deal or whatever?
Yeah.
And so she was talking about, and this is interesting, especially because like we have all these conversations now, I feel like about like, oh, what's an EP? What's a single? What's all this stuff?
Yeah.
Um,
These words.
yes. And Charlie in like an interview was kind of like called out that it's bullshit a little bit because she had this interesting quote about like calling these projects like mixtapes.
Hmm.
And she goes, maybe I just wasn't sure people wanted it from me, honestly. Also, I'm signed to a major label, so the second you call something an album, there's all this stress and fear and pressure and scheduling. They're like, oh, she's putting an album out. When's Ed Sheeran releasing his album? We got to make sure it doesn't go anywhere near that and all that. It's like a schedule. The second you just change the language to a mixtape, nobody cares. So I was like, cool, I'm doing a mixtape. Then it was just like there was no kind of logistical stress, even though it's the same thing. I mean, it's 10 original songs, it's artwork, it's features, it's whatever. It's the same.
Work.
Honestly, work.
She's so
Good
smart.
for her.
Yeah.
Um, but it is funny. She's right. Like, even as somebody who's like not in the industry, just a consumer of music, it's like all this jargon around music and stuff is so it's always interesting to me.
Trivial in
Yes.
a
Mhm.
way. It's so, yeah.
And they like pretend it's one of those things where like they pretend there's rules around it, but
But there's
like
actually,
there's
yeah,
actually
obviously
nothing
not.
really. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing
It's just they
truly
want to make the
governing
most
it.
money.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, but good for her that she found a way to release it, especially because like this is not like a major record label album release. Like
Right.
this is not like the sound of this album, especially in like 2017, was not something you could just release. Because
Yeah.
now it's also interesting to just hear like now like every song on the radio kind of sounds like a dumbed down version of what was going on Pop 2, which is really interesting. And it goes along with like the reviews of the mixtape, which was basically like when it came out to universal acclaim, and everybody was like, "Oh my god,
Right.
what is
I
this
never
girl
really hear
doing over here?"
celebrities talking about it though, other than Addison Rae loving pop too.
Well, not everybody can be a student of pop music like Addison Rae.
Right. OMG.
The 10th the mystery artist on the Barbie soundtrack.
Stop. I kind of want that to be true.
Finally releasing I Got It
Like,
Bad.
that would be. I'm twiddling my thumbs again.
No, the Addison Rae leaked album, guys, that would have been major.
I can't.
Had she put that out, it would have been major. But yeah,
Literally.
so Pop 2 comes out and it's just masterpiece. Like, Becca, what do you think it is
Yeah.
that makes it so exciting? Like,
It is truly so so different from everything.
mhm,
And there's just this coat of like ease over everything. Like
mhm,
even if something's weird, it knows exactly what it wants to be. And
mhm.
they're just so like you can't compare them to anything else. Like everything after it is just a descendant of it. Like she is Eve.
No, it is just the mother. Because like
Yeah.
even Charlie's stuff that comes after, it's like it's just not as like
I'm always gonna think about Pop
yeah,
too.
you're always gonna be comparing it to like its hot older sister, like even Charlie,
Yeah.
which like I love Charlie as an album, but it's like and even though it's like similar to Pop 2 and like some of the sounds it uses, it's just not it's not her.
Yeah, no.
It's not
It's just so
her.
perfect. I feel like
Um,
also like each track is so different that it's
mhm.
like you're not it's exciting to listen to literally as like just going through like pressing just pressing play. What
Yeah.
more can I say?
What more
Pressing
what
play
more
is so
is there to
exciting.
say, relay?
Yeah.
Pressing play and you're gonna have an exciting time.
Also the features so good. Are you
Yeah.
kidding? I just realized
No.
and I've never looked up what AG Cook looks like. Like I have no idea
Oh
what
yeah.
this person is.
Well, he's in the Boys music video, so you do know what he looks like. You just don't know it's him.
Oh, I never. Oh, of
Oh.
course. Okay.
The fact that she only has 2 solo tracks on the whole album. Or
Yeah.
sorry, mixtape. Atlantic, don't kill me.
Hold on.
Ugh. Oh, like looking at the track list just makes me want to go listen to it.
No, literally.
It starts off Backseat featuring Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh, guys.
Oh,
Guys. I
I'm wide awake
cannot.
lying next to you. She said, where? She said, where is my other gay icon?
Where?
Where? When
And
two
then she
divas
showed
get together
up.
to maximize their joint slay.
Their joint sleigh.
Um, Out of my head, Lucky. Oh my god, I love the end of Lucky so bad when she's like,
Yeah, it's so ridiculous and crazy and amazing.
because it's just it just is that it doesn't sound like anything else, and like you just have to
Mm-hmm.
like listen to it and be like, holy shit,
Holy.
holy shit. And I think that's what does truly make it exciting, that you're just like, because it's so rare for things to be new, right? It's
Right.
so rare to feel like something's like truly new. But like listening to this album, I guess if you're not like deeply entrenched in like electronic and like techno and stuff, but even if you are entrenched in that, you're probably not used to there being like vocals and like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so the fact that she was able to marry like pop, but then bring in these elements of like these other genres and like make it this weird maximalist like heaven,
Landscape. Yeah.
that the album is,
It's just it's so perfect.
and it's so like forward seeing, because as I said, like everything kind of sounds like this now. Like everybody's using electronics. Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
like
The
doing,
synth
yes,
dream
the
thing.
synths.
Yeah.
Like all of it came back, and like Charlie was like ahead of Charlie, AG, Sophie, the people who like worked on this album and like really like molded the sound. They like
We're
knew in
ahead
a
of it by like
way.
5 years.
They were ahead
Yeah.
of it. And so now it's like we listen to the radio and like roll our eye, like listen, I'm blue, yeah, I'm feeling all right. Like we're rolling our eyes listening to that because we're like, okay, you're
Yeah.
not giving me I've got it. You're not giving me
Yeah.
fembot with this. Like, what are
Not
you
even a
giving
little.
me, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but uh yeah, I just don't even know how to explain it. I don't even know how
La
to
la la
explain
la
our
la
girl.
la.
Did you ever la,
Tears are rolling down my face.
me?
This is also early Caroline for me. Tears.
No, literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a part
I'm
of the
so
song where
real with
Caroline
that.
just like screams.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I
I guess
love
this
that
is
song
also when they
so
were roommates.
bad. Say my name so nervously
Listen
now.
now.
I know I should listen to this before
Hazel.
we like. I didn't like give it a full listen before we came in and talked about it, but
I'm listening to it all the time, every single day. It's on all
literally,
like
it's on
something of
repeat.
it is on all my playlists. I
Got
got it.
me
I
on
got it. I got it. I got
repeat.
it. I
Got
got
me on
it.
repeat. No, these songs are on so many of my playlists. I just hear a lot of them like just existing throughout my day.
Yeah, my beach. Pardon, beat.
Oh,
Ow! Ow! My bleach blonde Becca playlist, which started when I was bleach blonde in 2018, is
Mhm.
just this album and Sweetener, and it's cannot be
Yeah,
more perfect for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I I got it. Brook Candy Fag Mob.
I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got
When the
it.
song starts like that. Oh, and there's Cupcake on that one too. Got a
Yeah.
couple checks coming in. Got a couple racks I ain't spent. Got
Eh.
uh yellow tape
I'll
around my
be
body, but not
fan
measuring
club.
waistlines.
Yeah.
Mmm.
Ooh, Ooh,
When she
delicious.
goes back to boom clap, say you'll never let me go. Say you'll never let me go. Wanna hear you know. And then of course there's Unlock It. That was another thing that was crazy when
Yeah.
Unlock It went like viral.
When did that happen?
When people were doing like the lock
Oh
it.
yeah, you're right. Unlock it, look it. I bet they don't even know it's Charli XCX. I bet they
Yeah.
don't even know.
Again, but like that's something that goes viral like 5 years later.
Yeah, crazy.
Because like that's like a simple song
Mm-hmm.
that's like got the key, can you
Unlock
unlock
it, look.
it?
Yeah,
That's like perfect for TikTok, but like
right.
it's perfect for TikTok in like earnest way because TikTok didn't exist when this song came out.
Yeah. Oh, that's so crazy to think about.
I know, right?
Unlock it,
And
look it,
then we
look
have
it.
Porsche. We didn't talk about Fembot, which I also love. I have this
Be a fembot.
I have this
Ooh,
idea that middle of the song when it sounds like your phone's breaking a little bit, like because it just goes, oh gosh.
yeah.
I have this idea for a drag number that I want to do so bad. I just get ideas for drag numbers, but like I don't really have interest in like doing drag. But
You don't?
not really,
What
no.
the hell? You should sell your ideas then.
I know. I have so guys, don't steal this one. Don't
Don't.
steal this one. I'm gonna say it again. Don't steal this one. It's my IP.
Seriously, don't.
I really want to do a drag number where it's Fembot, but as Sophia the robot.
Yeah. And she breaks.
Yeah. And it could be like pyrotechnics, like
Ooh,
on that
the
big part where it's
explosions.
like, because you ever read that thing where apparently she's like waterproof? I don't know if I made that up actually. She might not be
Sophia?
waterproof. Yeah.
I didn't know that. But I mean, uh,
I also may have
how
made it
much are
up.
really technology waterproof? I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know.
And then of course we come to track 10, which is the final song on the album.
Yeah. Such an experience
Multiple
again.
people died.
Multiple and many more injured.
Many casualties. Just the beginning of the song was
Yeah. Blame it
um
on your love.
and then I love when I go, sorry, I blame it on your love. Sorry, I blame it on your love.
It's so cool to listen to.
No,
Like
it's
your brain is like,
so
wow.
yeah, you're like, oh
My
wow.
goodness.
Which is why
How
it's
could
a
this
fun album to listen
happen?
to high because you're like, what is going on? Oh my god, this album's on shrooms. You be seeing some crazy stuff.
That would definitely be actually dangerous.
You'd be
Oh
seeing
my God.
some crazy things.
Oh wow.
I'd probably see like a full car crash just like in my room, being like, oh guys, there's a
Guys.
car.
Holy
Oh my
crap.
god. My personal favorite from the album definitely does have to go to Tears though.
I don't wanna. I don't want to choose a favorite.
You don't have to feel pressured to just because I did. But I've just always loved that song so much.
Yeah, I can't choose a favorite. I'm sorry.
Hey, my name
1
is
through
so
10.
nervous. My favorites are 1 through 10. Backseat is my favorite first track of Pop 2. Out of my head is my favorite second
second track.
track of Pop 2. My
I
mom
do
loves to
love
say
Out of My
that.
Head.
My mom went through an era where
Mm-mm.
she was like, "Oh, Quinn, you'll always be my favorite second son."
Moms, they think they can say they oh, except I asked my mom, she was like, "Well, you are easier to get along with." Your child. Like Joel's about to
Evan.
not make those jokes no more. I know.
Evan gets
Uh,
a lot of hate, I feel.
he can be
I
difficult sometimes,
I need to get
guys.
into
You
Evan lore
can't.
so bad. I'm trying to peel the onion back on Evan so bad, but every time I do it, it's just like
There's
I'm,
there's so many
I'm
layers
getting
to
closer to
him.
peeling the onion back on Evan. I'm doing
No,
my
the
I'm like Lady Gaga. I'm looking for evidence
looking for evidence of Evan.
of Evan. Yeah, no, because like I've only really seen him in the TikTok you made for our one class one time that he was in, and I have
And he's
really no
so different
concept of what he looks
now.
outside of that. Becca, do you have anything else to say about the opus that we're talking about today? Or
I mean, guys, if you haven't listened, like definitely you can listen to this album wherever in the world is like the best part of it. Like you don't need to be in a ready mood. Like just put it on and it will transport you to where Pop 2 lives, which
because
is in
there
the
is also
clouds
every
in a
emotion
cloud.
present on this album.
Yeah, you can feel every single thing. The whole entire human spectrum.
New things, maybe even
Yeah.
new shapes. You'll have to go to one of the other albums for that song,
Yeah.
um,
That's a call to the
but
future.
she wrote it about Pop too. She was like, "Okay, work."
Yes, this was a new shape.
That's another good song. Uh,
We don't think about it enough.
no, see, even when Charlie's like giving like, "Okay, I'm gonna do my main pop girl thing," like a little less experimental, she's still putting out like great pop music.
No, yeah, she is.
She's so
Love
talented. She's so
her.
good at what she does.
Speed Drive also. I love
Oh,
it so
oh,
much.
Bobby, you're so fine, so fine, but my mind. We need the extended
Let it
mix
in
like
the
we got for
speed drive.
Padam.
Literally.
Barbie saying no songs over 2 minutes for the soundtrack.
No. Quinn, do you have anything else to say about Pop 2?
Uh, I just love her so much. I need to go
Mm-hmm.
listen to her so bad.
I know.
Um, and yeah, I will also always see Charli XCX live.
I still haven't.
Oh my God. Well, we'll do it
I'm a
together one
freak.
day.
I
We'll,
know.
we'll have a rain check.
Yeah.
No, honestly, just hearing Vroom Vroom live, it's such an electric feeling in the
It's something I have to experience.
no, literally, because it's one of those things where like I think sometimes when things become, and this is not just a Charlie thing, but like sometimes people become resentful of the things that like made them popular
Right.
because they get seen as like that one thing.
Yeah.
And so I think Charlie definitely felt that way to a certain extent with like Boom Clap,
Uh-huh.
and like Sucker as an album.
Sure.
And she's like kind of coming around the corner on that. It feels like she just never felt that about Vroom Vroom. It feels
No,
like if
because she
anything,
knows
when
what it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's more
She's so
cathartic for
proud.
her because she's like, I'm sure her and Sophie were like spent a lot of time working on it, and we're like, oh my God, this is so fucking major.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it like took a second. Again, another thing that's like now like my friend who was like just a regular like sorority girl like goes up for fucking Vroom Vroom.
Work.
Like again, like it like when it came out in 2017, those people would have like died hearing it. But like now
Yeah.
it's like a song that just comes on, everyone's like, ah, lavender Lamborghini roll up in the blue.
Been a blue bikini. Yeah.
But yeah.
No, it has gotten so popular on TikTok. It's interesting.
No, it's kind of like our
The vroom
fast
vroom
car if you think
scream.
about
I think that's the perfect note to end on.
it. Fast,
I
are you
should.
more fast car or are you more speed drive?
Yeah. Comment
We are
below.
no, we're that's our dichotomy, fast car and speed drive.
Speed drive. Put it in the speed drive.
Which is funny because you are a queer woman and I am also a queer woman, but you know.
in another way.
Yeah, in another well, we are gonna zoom off and do a little break, and then
Mhm.
we'll be right the fuck back.
I'm about to crash. I'm about to crash.
Guys, I'm scared.
That was my
god.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Mhm.
Guys. Oh, yeah.
I remember.
Okay,
I
yeah.
remember what it was. I remember what it was.
Perfect. Okay. So, guys, it's time for our weekly segments. We have no comment corner because, guys, shut up. But also talk to us more.
Yeah.
And please email us. Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So just think about that. Tell
Sometimes
us what
it helps
your
that we don't have the option of doing the comment corner, but other times it makes us hurt. So
yeah, it hurts us emotionally more so.
mhm.
Tell us what you thought of Pop 2 if you listened to it for the first time or if you've ever listened to it ever.
Or
So
if you ever
easy.
listen to Pop 1.
Yeah.
Or some people call it
Go
Pop.
ahead. Porp.
Porp.
Yeah. So do that. But so for now, we'll move on to our jump scare of the week. This is anything Quinn and I found particularly dicey.
Mm-hmm.
Not so smooth like. Not so I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Quinn, what was that for you this week?
I gotta talk about pet sitting again, guys. I know. But guys,
Nor the
it
dogs
keeps
there.
getting weirder. It keeps getting weirder.
Oh, weirder.
Like, I truly believe weird things just happen to me in a special way.
How could it get weirder than that lady, the Disney adult?
Oh, just you wait. It's weird in a different
Okay.
way. So, I get a little text from a family friend who's like, "Oh, hey Quinn, can you watch our cat this weekend while we're away?" And I was like, "Oh, sure, yeah." And they're like, "Oh, we'll leave you the instructions." Well, it first starts off with like a jump being like, "Oh, how much do you want?" And so this is what's annoying about dog sitting, because it's like sometimes they ask what you want to be paid, sometimes they don't. And then my rate is usually I'm like, oh, 50 a day.
Yeah.
And I was like, they were gone for like 4 days. Well, like it was like I had to do a night and then 2 full days and then morning. But I only went one time a day because it's a cat anyway. So I was like, it's the same thing I'm doing anyway. So I want to charge for 4 days. And I asked my mom, I was like, is that too much? And she was like, yeah, it kind of feels like too much. And then my mom was like, oh, just tell her you'll take whatever. And like, they'll probably pay you something close to that. And so I was like, okay, yeah. So I was like, anyway. So then I get to do the sitting part of the job, and I get to the house and they've typed up like directions. First of all, the cat's immediately screaming for me as I walk in, and I've known this cat for a long time because it's a family friend.
Oh no.
I don't think I ever touched it before this weekend though, like in our like 10 years relation, because it's one of those cats that like hides like.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I think I touched it for the first time, and it's old now, like it's a little haggard.
Aw.
And so she's enjoying her last days on Earth.
Right.
And it was
With
like
you.
coming up to me and like rubbing on me and stuff, and I was like, this is so weird for this cat in particular.
Oh, interesting.
And so then I'm reading the stuff, and they're like, oh, give it like a little half can of food whenever you come, and I was like, per, so normal. And they're like, oh yeah, scoop the litter box out, and I was like, oh, okay, work. And then I read something, I'm like, oh, that's not. So the letter describes to me that the litter box is sitting on a tarp in their living room. A litter box is in their family room where they like sit and stuff and watch TV.
That's atypical.
And they said in the note that the cat picked that spot. And I was like, so what do you mean the cat picked that spot? Because like as the owner, me personally, I'm picking different for the cat.
Yeah, the cat's gonna have to work with my way of life a little.
Yeah, that's usually how that goes. But anyway, so then comes a real kicker, and it says on the thing, sometimes if the litter isn't scooped out, the cat will just go on the tarp, like he'll just pee on the tarp.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, that's not And so then I start walking and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then they're like, oh, there are paper towels and a set of tongs for you to like clean it up.
Clean the tarp?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Dang.
Uh-huh. So I
Oh,
go into the living room. Sure as hell, there's like two
piss
puddles
all.
of cat piss just
Oh,
sitting.
I can't imagine the smell.
It weirdly, the one of the weirdest parts of the story is it didn't even smell bad. Like it did, like I don't know if I'm like
Oh,
immune to
fascinating.
cat because I have one, but like I just it didn't have like a cat smell. And maybe it's because it's like a big like farmhouse and like, but even
Okay.
then that house is always fucking hot. Like the air's always kind of stale in it. So I was surprised it didn't smell worse.
Yeah.
But then
Jeez.
I literally had to I texted my mom right away and I said I have to manually clean cat piss. $200 would have been generous for me to
Oh
charge.
my God. What did they pay you?
Oh, you're asking exactly the right question, Becca.
Okay, okay.
So after I clean the cat's piss for 4 days straight off of a tarp, I'm like,
It pissed on the
oh,
tarp like the whole time.
there was one visit where I didn't have to clean any pee off the tarp.
Oh my gosh.
Um, I'm like, okay, so I'm like, okay, I'm expecting a little bit of a payout. I finish up with the cat. It's Sunday, and I'm like, okay, work. I get a Venmo thing for the cat sitting.
I'm scared.
$80.
Oh. Okay, so 20 bucks a day.
Mm-hmm.
Clean
Mm-hmm.
that cat piss.
To clean up cat piss and pick up the paper towels with tongs.
Dang. Tongs. Ewy.
Guys, it was one of the most depraved things I've ever done. Like, honestly.
That's
And
not
if you
nice.
like, if I had gotten the full set of circumstances, no way I would have done that for $80.
Right, right.
I would have sat my ass at home. And I was like going above and beyond. Like the last day I was there, like when I knew they were coming home later that day, I like swept up the tarp because I was like getting all like the litter and stuff off of it.
Mm,
For what?
little did you know.
For what?
How far did you have to drive?
It was only like it's only like 15 minutes. Well, I went after work the one day, so that added like an hour to my workday basically. But anyway,
Jeez.
yeah, so that was my jump scare.
That is so tough.
I need to get out of the industry. But anyway,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. Or up your rates, girl.
or just tell. But it taught me a lesson, girl. Just say what you want, because why
Right.
not?
Yeah,
If they had said no, great. I wouldn't have had to clean cat piss this weekend.
exactly.
Anyway, but Becca, what was your
Yes.
jump scare this week?
So I'm facing an issue in which I have no consistency in the sports that I play. And I'm going to include pool as a sport because in Wisconsin, I was really good at pool for whatever reason. Like I won the
Mm,
game. We
mm-hmm.
played pool this weekend. We, as in, I lost everyone at the hotel. So I followed Lauren's boyfriend to the pool room and played pool with him and the two friends.
Oh, there's one in the hotel.
Yes. Lauren got
Oh,
upgraded to the all access lounge. Oh
really?
yeah, for her
Lauren has a
birthday.
boyfriend?
Yeah.
Good for her.
Of something of like 3 years actually.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Now that's a twist
Yeah, oh, you better believe it.
for someone like
His name is
me.
for someone like me. His name is Robbie. He's a good guy.
Shout out Robbie.
Yeah,
Sweet.
thank you, Robbie, for all you do. From the Philadelphia area. Westchester more so.
Blackpink in your area.
Sure. Um, but I was so bad. I walked in the room obviously saying, I'm so good at pool. I just won this game like last like 2 weeks ago. And then I go, okay, guys, what are the rules again?
So how do we
A
play?
little
Guys, I'm so
refresh.
good. Guys, I'm so good. Believe me.
How do we play though? Do you know?
Can someone remind me of the rules? That's every game you play with kids. Like they're like always forgetting the rules. You have to be
uh
constantly reminding them.
I get it. It's exhausting, but I do have to be constantly reminded the rules of pool. Um, and I was so bad that the one guy on the other team was taking was putting my balls back and being like, it's okay, try again. And I was like,
That was a
oh,
mulligan. That was a
oh,
mulligan.
oh, oh. He's feels so bad for me. He's letting me take more turns.
He said, "Hey,
Um,
woman."
and I lost. And that's just my issue is like, how do like a thing with pool, like you can't really measure other than like how much you win.
Mm-hmm.
And uh I just can't, like, I'm so inconsistent with my
Mm.
skills. Do I
Yeah,
need to practice? I don't want to.
maybe.
I want to just do it once a year and be really good at it.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
get that.
I don't
No, I
see the
get
issue with
that.
that. Yeah.
Mm.
So it's just a little
This,
scary for me.
who was it? The one time Becca and I have ever played a game of pool together.
Yeah.
It was when we were at a
Boots.
bar called Boots, for short,
Oh.
at Pitt. And we waited, it must have been 30 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes for a pool table to open up. And it was me, Becca, and Macy were all there together.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, oh, we're gonna play pool, we're gonna play pool, we're gonna play pool. Literally immediately, like second turn or something. Was it you or Macy who did it?
I did it.
Becca sinks the
The eight
fucking
ball.
cue ball or the 8 ball, yeah.
Yeah.
Sinks the 8 ball, thus losing the game
Finishing our
and
turn
finishing
completely.
like our turn with the pool table.
And it was
So it was,
crazy because Macy got us a free game, like from that guy.
uh-huh.
And we were like,
Yeah.
sweet, like awesome. We've
Yeah,
been
free
waiting. We don't have
game,
to
free
play.
game.
First turn of mine,
Immediately
boom.
done.
Oh,
Immediately
the game is
done.
actually over and you have to go. Yeah. That's a
Oh my
bummer. See,
God.
I'm so inconsistent.
That was so silly.
It was so goofy.
That was so silly and goofy. Oh my God. But now we get to tell it on our podcast, so
Yeah,
everything
it was
happens
all
for a
worth it.
reason, and that
Yeah.
reason is for content.
Yep. You're right.
I'm so
Well,
indecisive.
now that we've got the scary out of the way, we get to move on to our manic pixie moments. This is anything
Mhm.
particularly slay, lovely, goo goo gaga 5000. And Quinn, what was that for you this week?
My main pixie moment actually is that work was super slow on Saturday. And then I was looking at the schedule and I was
At the
like,
winery?
oh, yeah, at the winery.
Okay.
And I was in that. Well, it was kind of another jump scare because I was in the shack, which is where we have our slushy machine. And
Mm-hmm.
a slushy machine you might think is cold, but no, it's actually hot because it just shoots
Oh,
out hot air.
right.
And
To
it's in
keep
this
it
little
working.
shed thing that isn't really properly ventilated. There is like an
Mm.
air conditioner and stuff in there, but more so than our comfort, it's so the wine doesn't go bad.
Ah,
I feel.
gotcha.
Which I did have bottles of wine because it did get up into the 90s in the
Ooh.
shack itself.
Oh my God.
Like I think 96 was where it topped out before it started coming back down.
Oh, Quinn.
And I was in there like all day basically. And
Oh
I
my
I
God.
didn't get like bothered by the heat that much. But
Do you
like
have to stand or do you get to sit?
there's a sit, but there's only like a stool. And the only place when you're on the stool to like put your back up against is the is the slushy machine, which is shooting out hot air.
Right, right. Right onto you.
So it's really a
Yeah.
devil's bargain you have to play. It's like you can either have
Yeah.
like a bad back or you
Be
can
10
like,
degrees hotter.
yeah. So anyway, um, but anyway, so I was in that all day and I was like, and it was also slow. So like I would have a customer like every 20 minutes or something. But I checked the schedule and I was like, oh, there are 19 people working tomorrow. How many reservations do we have for tomorrow? So I go into our reservation system on my little iPad. We have 4
Mm-hmm.
reservations for tomorrow. So I'm like, oh, they're gonna cut people.
All
And
right.
then
You
what does
did
my
the
manager
maths.
say? What does my manager say at the end of the day? But hey, so if you guys want to volunteer, like not to work tomorrow, we don't need all of the people we have signed up for tomorrow. And she was also like, you can either volunteer or I'll just choose randomly. And just know that like if you're working
Whoa.
today, you have a better chance of like not working tomorrow because I want to like spread out the hours and stuff. And so I walked in the president of Disney Channel's office and I said,
I want to make history. I want off
I want to make
tomorrow.
history. I want off tomorrow.
And this is what that is.
And this is what that is. And so I got off Sunday. It was like it's the first weekend I haven't worked since whatever 2 weekends before Memorial Day was.
First weekend, even though you worked on Saturday?
Well, yeah, it was the first weekend I didn't work both days on the weekend.
Okay.
Like I've been there every Saturday and Sunday since 2 weeks before Memorial Day, whatever that was.
Same.
Like since I started working there in May.
Isn't it so evil? I can't wait to have my weekends off.
Yeah, it's kind of, well, I don't know. Yeah, having your weekends. Yeah, it is.
Like
It is like such a
I don't
thing.
like just having like a random day and then a random day later in the week as my days off. Like I want
Especially,
them consecutively.
especially our age. Like,
And then your friends,
it's not
like
even, no, it's not even that bothers me. Like, I don't necessarily need like 2 days in a row off. But like, it's more so that like you can't plan anything really.
right, because you never know,
Because
they're
like,
never gonna be the same.
if I want to do something, I kind of have to do it on Friday nights because like I'm not like, or this was the case before I started working at the camp, but my Fridays are generally lighter because we don't have the kids. But like I'm not so exhausted by working on Friday that I have to like that I am like want to just go like fall into my couch. Whereas like
Right.
Saturday after working like a 9-hour shift, I'm like, oh, I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
I want to go
Yeah.
home so bad. And then having to go and do that. But anyway, so yeah. But I also like my job. That's like the nice thing at least is that I at least like enjoy both my jobs.
Wait, what was your damn manic pixie moment? Oh, that you had
Oh, that I
off.
took off work.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I just get
And of course
Oh my
I'm
god,
like
I kept thinking
me.
about the hot slushy machine.
Yeah, no, of course I was like it was a little bit of a riddle wrapped inside of a thing, but like of course I'm me, so I'm like, oh, so now I have time. I did still work on Sunday technically because I had to lesson plan. So I worked for like a good 3 hours like lesson planning.
Oh
Um
boy.
because I had to do all my lessons. Or not all my lessons, but I had to figure out like what we were doing for the first
What
day.
was gonna
And
happen? Yeah.
then of course newsletter wasn't started, so I was like,
Jumped on
let
that.
me do something quick. I ended up writing 2,000 words, and I'm like, okay, work.
Quick and easy. Ain't it?
And then yeah, but so I'm a girl who keeps myself busy is the thing.
Gets to.
But I had a little day off, so that was fun. A day off, I
Nice.
say. I
A
did
day at
take myself
home.
out to brunch though,
Oh,
and I read our
lovely.
little book club book at brunch.
Oh,
I
the
was like, I'm having
jar.
a good old time. Did you finish
Such a way
her
to put that on my
or
calendar. No, literally haven't yet.
me neither?
But I will.
Miss Esther. I
Goofy
relate to her,
girl.
but I also don't, which is a good thing.
Yes.
I feel like I relate to her in all the
Certainly
right
so.
ways, but then in the bad ways, I'm like, oh, so I wouldn't do that.
Not as me. Not as
Not
me.
not as me here.
My
She's not giving me as much
actions.
here. Anyway, Becca,
Yeah.
what was your Matrixy moment? I must know.
Well, I love compliments more than anything in the
Uh-huh.
entire world. And well, when we were out at the concourse, actually walking into the ice bar, there was like a little bit of like an in-between room with like some of those like I don't even know, clear like what are those called?
Little
Those like
curtain thingies.
yeah, curtains, but they're cut up and they're clear.
Oh yeah, I love those.
Yeah, they're
It's like you're
fun.
going into like a meat fridge or maybe like a wine
Yes, yeah.
fridge
Or a
at
room
the
of
liquor
ice.
store. Yeah,
Yeah. So they had those and I was kind of like moving
performing
those,
with them.
right?
Yeah.
And I kind of like hit the guy in front of me by accident because his hand was like still in them.
Because he was in the
And
way. Let's just
yes,
say
he was
that.
in my way.
Let's just say that.
So he like looked back and I was like, sorry. And then he looked forward again. And then he did a freaking double take, dude. And he goes, oh my God, you look like Rapunzel. And I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And I go, Robbie, did you hear what he just said? He said I look like Rapunzel. And Robbie was like, that's awesome. And I was so happy the rest of the night.
You said I'm like
And
Rapunzel.
I just
You're
kept
that girl
talking
who's
about
like,
it.
you're that girl who's like, hey, I look like Mona Lisa. Look, as you with Rapunzel.
Yes, because I was like, that's so hilarious because my hair is so short right now.
Yeah, it's like not particularly long.
I'm just a little
You
blondie.
got a little bit more of a lob. You got a
But
little bit more than a
yeah,
lob.
I got the Rachel going on.
Yeah, a little
A
bit.
little bit so. Um, but I was like, wow, I wonder what even like what reference point of Rapunzel he's talking about. I did have a little pink dress on, perhaps, mayhaps. But then he did actually like follow me around a little creepily the whole night. But Alyssa was on freaking bodyguard duty, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna let him near you because he is talking about your location with his friends." And I was like, "Okay, thank you for stepping in."
It's crazy.
So
how
the manic pixie moment,
men are so
yeah.
consistently offered the ample opportunity to not be creepy, and then they just decide,
They don't take
wait, what if I was creepy?
What if I was weird and creepy and
What if I did
uncool?
weird everyone out?
Also freaking manic pixie moment I just remembered is I freaking dance battled someone also. I didn't
And they
realize how easy
lost.
it
And
is
they
to start it.
lost.
They lost terribly. It
They
was
lost terribly.
embarrassing.
You would be embarrassed. Becca's one of the best dancers I know.
But I literally just asked him, like, do you want a dance battle? And he was like, yeah.
Yeah, let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. Then we dance battled. Everyone agreed I won. And then, but
What was
then
the song?
I
Wait, what
started,
was the song?
it could have been anything. I don't know what was
Oh.
playing.
You...
Oh, I do think I think Rude Boy played for like a little bit. The DJ was kind of like weird. Songs are only playing for like 45 seconds. Yeah. So but that definitely ignite. I think I like unleashed passion within him though, because I saw him later dance battling someone. And I was like, oh, he's into this.
He's like, I have to get a win.
I have to
Maybe this time I'll win.
I have to avenge my dancing family.
It's giving very much. Have you ever played that version of rock, paper, scissors where if you lose rock, paper, scissors, you like start supporting the person who beat you?
No.
So it's like if you're playing rock, paper, scissors in like a big room, you can do like it'll be like, and if somebody beats you, you start to like cheer them on. So you're like, go, and then they find somebody else. And then
Okay.
that person also has a little posse, and then whoever wins absorbs like the whole posse, and eventually it's just like two sides of the room being like, go, go, go.
I love that.
We could do that with you, but with a dance battle.
Perfect. Go. Oh my God.
My
With my
Corey,
posse.
Corey texted me today, and he's also working at a summer camp, and he's like, he texted me at like 6 a.m. or something. He's like, crazy how if one kid does a cartwheel, it initiates a riz off across the entire camp.
They have to cartwheel. It's
Oh
something
my
about
God. I
them.
love when kids lie too, because like when I was doing my yoga thing, I was talking to my kids and I was like, I've been practicing yoga for about 4 years now. And this one girl just goes, I've been practicing for 10 years. Mind you, she's not older than 7.
Oh,
And I
she
said,
doesn't know.
wow. And so I hit her with the,
Wow.
wow, so you're an expert.
Good.
He's like kept the bit going too. Like I
Wow.
think she knows in her mind that she's practiced yoga for 10 years because she's like, oh, I know that one. I love how kids just make shit up. It's so funny.
It's hilarious.
Mm,
It's something I still do this day. I keep it within me.
literally.
Yeah.
No, and working at the camp, do you know what I want to do so bad? Do you know what I would pay any amount of money to do?
What's that?
Like, not any amount of money, but like, I don't know, maybe something else. But
Okay.
to be like with myself, like to be able to like sit in a room with myself as like a 5-year-old or like a 7-year-old and just talk to
Oh,
them.
that would be
Or
awesome.
literally any one of my friends. Like if I can meet Becca, like I want to know so badly like what you were giving.
At 8?
Yeah, like no, 8's a little too old. Like I want to know before you're like fully aware of yourself and you're just kind of saying
Okay.
shit.
Gotcha.
Because
4 or
like
5.
4 to like 7, I think you're just saying shit. Like you're
Yeah.
I think after that you start to like crystallize a little bit more.
Yeah, I would believe that.
I think it's such a fun age where they're just like making shit up. You fully being 7 years old, not quite clearing 3 feet, and you're like, oh,
I
I've practiced yoga for 10 years.
I would lie all this time. I almost got kicked out of daycare for lying.
Oh yeah, I would lie a lot as a kid too.
It was crazy. I told people
Mhm.
terrible things. Like I should not have like
You
oh
should
my
have expelled
God.
me.
Yeah, literally. My mom was like, "Oh, you can't lie. It's embarrassing." I was like, "Okay, I don't get that."
You said IDC. You were her child she adopted from Idgafistan. You didn't get it. You're like, who cares?
Oh my God, I'm a dual citizen.
This
Idgafistan.
Idgafistan is my home.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But I think that brings us to the end of our program today. So Becca, where can people find you and your adventures across your homeland?
Thank you so much. They can follow me on Instagram at Becca Hobart, TikTok, we're a Yargone during World War III, Twitter, and Spotify Bex Gloss. I did that the opposite way. So you can also find me participating in Backwards Day. I'm gonna wear my shirt backwards. So it's gonna say slutty baby on the back.
Oh, okay. And
Instead
not
of
just
the
because you have a
front.
stain on it.
Right. Because there definitely is on the front and back.
Oh my God,
Kinky.
that's another thing about the kids. Like, especially the young kids, if you look at their shirt, you're just like, oh my God, there's so many stains on this.
You dropped everything you ever
dropped-
held.
Oh my God. I opened an orange juice for this kid and I was like, okay, now carefully go back to your seat. Literally immediately starts just spilling it on the floor. I was like, you didn't even step anywhere.
You can't even hold it right.
They're so funny.
Children.
He's
Well,
like playing
Quinn.
Duck Duck Goose, then he's mad because people are touching his head.
Why
he's like,
you mad?
This kid was like, I like didn't get this kid because he was like mad because nobody picked him during Duck Duck Goose. But first of all, he would duck and like make sure nobody could like touch him anytime he would get touched in the circle. And then he was like, I don't like when people touch my head. And I'm like, so why are you playing Duck Duck Goose?
It's not the game
and
for
why
you,
are you
my
mad
child.
when people don't touch your head?
What do you want?
They have to touch your head for you to be the goose. He's like crying, has his head down. I want my mom. I'm like, girl, what is your issue?
Oh boy.
I had to deal with my first crying kid of the summer today. I was like, girl, can we cheer up?
Yeah, don't.
Especially because I was like, what are you crying about? You literally don't like your head touched. It sounds like you went through Duck Duck Goose having the ideal happen.
Yeah. This was what you wanted.
Anyway, not sidetracking with more of the kids, but
no, of course.
You can find me at Quinn P. Murphy on both Instagram and TikTok is the other place I have that particular handle. And then you can find me at Quinn P. Murphy _ on Twitter. Yes, on Twitter, not Threads.
Correct.
Although I am curious to see what's going on Threads, but I feel like it won't be as mean as Twitter. So we need to stay on Twitter.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll stay on that bird app until they shut it down. Is the thing. She's giving me so much. I can't leave her. I feel about Twitter how some people feel about the church. Like, even if it leaves its light, I can't abandon her.
Right. She's all I know.
And you can find my newsletter at quinnpmurphy.substack.com, and you can find me with these damn kids. Tired.
All summer long.
Wanting to sleep all summer long. And by that, I mean for the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Right.
And Becca, where, pray tell, can the people find the show if they're so inclined?
Well, they can follow at Manic Pixie Jump Scare on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, where we post the podcast at length and some exclusive content over there. They can also email in at manicpixiejumpscare@gmail.com. Pleek, pleek, pleek.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Yeah. Well,
we're Quinn and we're Becca. And thank you for listening. Crash.
It kind of makes me unsettled how well I can like BBLify my face. Like,
Manic Pixie Jump Scare is hosted by Quinn Murphy
and Becca Hobart. Executive produced by Quinn Murphy and Becca Hobart.
Sound and video editing by Quinn Murphy.
Social media management and highlights by Becca Hobart.
And our theme song was written by Quinn Murphy, Becca Hobart, and Nandita Mahesh.